Even legends don't quite know how to react. Lauren Jackson, a three-time WNBA MVP and absolute icon, just dropped a line that echoed through the league. She loves everything about Caitlin Clark, but admits she's not sure she'd want to play with her. That alone makes you stop and wonder. When a legend whispers admiration mixed with hesitation, what's really behind it? And let's be clear, this isn't some throwaway remark. It came in late August 2025, a time when Clark was already fighting through injuries and constant spotlight, and when every word about her seemed to ripple across the WNBA. Jackson's words weren't just a hot take, they were a reminder that even the greats are wrestling with what Clark represents. Think about it. When was the last time you heard a Hall of Famer hesitate before saying they'd want to share the floor with a rookie? This moment is bigger than one comment. It captures the tension between old legends and the new face of the league, between the established way of playing and the disruptive force that Clark has become. And once you hear exactly what Jackson said, you'll understand why fans are split right down the middle. To understand the weight of Jackson's comment, you need to know who she is. Lauren Jackson isn't just any retired player giving casual opinions. She's one of the most decorated athletes in WNBA history. 3 MVPs, 2 championships, 7 All-Star appearances, and recognition as one of the league's all-time great forwards. Her career defined an era of dominance for the Seattle Storm and set a standard that few have reached since. So when she talks about a player, especially one in her rookie season, people listen. Jackson's voice carries credibility not just because of her resume, but because of her perspective. She's been there. She's lived through the pressure of being the focal point of a franchise. She's handled media scrutiny, played on the biggest international stages, and carried the weight of expectations that can either fuel greatness or crush potential. That's why her opinion matters so much here. If it were just another analyst or commentator, fans might shrug it off as noise. But Jackson is part of the rare club of legends who understand what it means to reshape the league. And her hesitation about teaming with Clark isn't coming from a place of ignorance. It's coming from lived experience at the top. That's what makes this comment sting, intrigue, and fuel debate all at once. Jackson didn't come across as bitter or dismissive. In fact, she began with nothing but admiration. On August 20, 2025, she said, "I love her intensity. The way she shoots, the smarts, the vision, the fearlessness." This isn't generic praise. It's layered recognition of everything Clark brings to the court. Intensity. Clark has been fearless since stepping into the WNBA, drawing double teams, shrugging off physical play, and never backing down. Shooting. She's already established herself as one of the most dangerous perimeter threats in basketball. Vision. Her court awareness rivals that of seasoned vets, threading impossible passes and creating plays out of thin air. And fearlessness. That might be the most telling word of all. When Jackson says she's never seen anything like it, that's not hyperbole. This is someone who played alongside Sue Bird and faced legends like Lisa Leslie and Tamika Catchings. For her to call Clark's style unprecedented is a massive endorsement. But here's where it gets interesting. Praise is one thing. Acceptance is another. Jackson loved the way Clark plays, but love doesn't always mean you want to share the spotlight. Backhand index pointing right question for you. Do you think Clark's style of play is already on par with the legends, or does she still have something to prove? And then came the hesitation. Jackson's exact words, "I love her intensity, but I don't know if I'd want to play with her." That single pause sent shockwaves. Because it cracked open a question no one expected to hear from a legend. Is Caitlin Clark too much? The reasons behind the hesitation could be layered. One explanation. Style clash. Clark dominates the ball. She sets the tempo, directs the offense, and often takes the big shot. For veterans used to being the alpha, adjusting to someone with that gravitational pull could feel suffocating. Another explanation? Spotlight overload. Playing with Clark isn't just about basketball, it's about constant media attention. Every game, every practice, every headline revolves around her. Not every superstar wants to live in that storm. Jackson knows what it's like to be under the microscope. Maybe her hesitation was more about the toll than the talent. And then there's the deeper angle, respect mixed with realism. Jackson may admire Clark's game, but she also knows how hard it is to balance egos, roles, and expectations when two superstars share the floor. Chemistry can make or break legacies, and maybe Jackson was simply being honest, saying what others think but never say out loud. Either way, that brief moment of doubt didn't dismiss Clark. It highlighted her power. Because if even legends are pausing before imagining themselves next to her, then Clark isn't just a rookie anymore. She's a force that redefines the conversation. Clark carries a lot, record-breaking numbers, massive media attention, even attendance spikes that only Messi or Jordan have seen. Now imagine trying to recalibrate your own game beside someone like that. It's not just basketball, it's a seismic shift in how the sport sees itself. Teammates don't just play with her, they adjust around her. Every pass, every defensive scheme, every possession carries an extra layer of expectation. That spotlight can lift a team, but it can also overwhelm. For veterans like Jackson, who spoke on August 20, 2025, the thought isn't about doubt in Clark. It's about whether anyone can truly keep pace with the gravitational pull she creates. And this is the tricky balance. Playing alongside Clark could feel like joining a movement, but it could also mean giving up your own space. Imagine being a seasoned veteran, used to dictating the flow, suddenly orbiting someone who commands constant attention. Even superstars have pride, and sometimes it's easier to admire from a distance than share the floor. That's the essence of Jackson's hesitation. It wasn't dismissive, it was honest. She wasn't saying Clark isn't great. She was saying Clark is so great that it changes everything, and not everyone wants to live under that kind of pressure. If MVPs are rethinking how to play beside Clark, that tells you what her presence is doing to the WNBA. She's not just competing, she's rewriting mental playbooks. Every MVP who follows will face that shadow, and even the legends are pausing. It's rare to see a rookie force this kind of conversation. Usually, rookies adapt to the league. Clark flipped it. The league is adapting to her. Opponents double-team her, coaches redesign game plans, and even former superstars are measuring themselves against her meteoric rise. That ripple effect, made clear in August 2025, proves she's not just part of the league, she's reshaping it. And here's the wild part. This hesitation doesn't weaken her reputation, it strengthens it. If legends like Jackson have to stop and calculate what it would mean to team up with Clark, it shows just how disruptive she already is. She's not just earning comparisons, she's forcing legends to imagine what it would feel like to play in her shadow. Think about that for a second. The WNBA has been around for nearly 3 decades. Dozens of superstars have come and gone. But how many rookies ever made a Hall of Famer admit they're not sure they could fit next to them? That's not doubt. That's dominance. This leads us to where Clark really is. Not just a rising star, but a pivot point in women's basketball. Her impact is so seismic that even those who helped build the league are reassessing their own legacies, because she's rewriting the rules. The conversation isn't about whether she'll dominate, it's about how long, and how many new doors she'll open along the way. Clark's influence stretches beyond the hardwood. Sponsorships, media rights, and even the way young players dream of their futures are shifting around her. She's a storm the WNBA didn't just predict, she's a storm the WNBA needed. And this is only the beginning. As the 2025 regular season heads into its final weeks, her name is everywhere. Ticket sales, merch, television deals, kids wearing her jersey at local courts. She isn't just playing games, she's building an empire in real time. And legends like Jackson? They're proof of her reach. Because when you shake the confidence of the greats, you've already cemented your place in history. That's the scale of Caitlin Clark's rise. Not rookie making waves. Not star in the making. She's already forcing the league to rewrite itself around her. So yes, Jackson's comment, made on August 20, 2025, was provocative. But it was also prophetic. Clark is more than a phenom. She's a turning point, one that makes even the most decorated players wonder how to keep up. And if legends hesitate to share the court with her, what does that mean for the league she's bending to her will? Because in the end, admiration mixed with caution is the ultimate proof of greatness. Clark has already earned respect, headlines, and records. But when even icons are unsure about how they'd fit next to her, you know she's become something else entirely. Inevitable. And that's where you come in. These conversations aren't just for analysts and legends, they're for fans too. Backhand index pointing right poll question for comments. If you had the choice, would you rather play with Caitlin Clark or face her as an opponent? Either way, one thing is certain. Caitlin Clark has already reached the point where even your answer says more about the future of the league than the past.